Is there a time where you think that you're unlucky being yourself, living in this world where everything is so stressful? Is there a time where you cut your classes just because you don't feel like studying? Is there a time when you play with clean water just because you just like it? How about a time where you chose some food just because you just don't feel like eating it? How about, let me ask some different questions. You have a home to go, your shelter every night and day. How about the food you eat every day? Clean water to sustain your daily needs. Proper education to learn new things and to achieve your dreams for a better future. If you have all of those, then you're lucky. Let me tell you a good story. A good story that will change your perspective. It is all about the boy named William from Guampa, a boy who learns how to build a windmill to save his village from famine. William Kamkwamba from Malawi takes the courage to invent a windmill that will help his village to avoid the famine and drought. When his family is no longer economically viable for payments, he is pulled out to the school he loves. But he continues to wander into the library and the science class, and he never stops learning. The boy who harnessed the wind wants to tell us that never stop dreaming and make things happen accordingly. Do not let someone's opinion define you as a person. Everyone can make a change even at a very young age. He was just a 13-year-old boy who went to a junkyard where he collected a bicycle frame, pulley, and the plastic pipes. Without materials, it generates 12 watts of electric energy that lights up 4 light bulbs and 2 radios. He did not receive any support from the village when he was starting to develop it. Many people thought that William was going crazy until they realized that the windmill is very useful in their village. Horace Mann once said that, "Let us not be content to wait and see what will happen, but give us the determination to make the right things happen."
Look at the stars, look how they shine.
The primary conflict in The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind is all about the conflict between William Kamkwamba and the effects of the crippling poverty that affects his family in their small village in Malawi. Though William is an uncommonly bright young man, his parents cannot afford the fees to send him to school, and his education was interrupted. Undaunted, William decides to educate himself at the library. In there, he becomes fascinated with engineering and resolves to build a windmill to assist the farming community in his village.
It is here that a secondary conflict emerges. Many of the people around William insult and deride him, thinking the folly of his idea. However, William can overcome both poverty and the contempt of others by building a functional small windmill, impressive enough to secure him scholarship to continue his education.
This story has shown us the goals of the UN. It also gives us the answer on why the UN should push to make its goals happen. Here are the list of the highlighted parts of the story that is connected to the UN Sustainable Development Goals.
You know I love be so.
In terms of poverty, we saw how hard and poor the life of people in Malawi, Africa. They don't have enough money to sustain their needs for their daily lives, and because of poverty, it prevents them from having a quality education that they deserve, and it also prevents them to heal if they have sickness, for there is no hospital, and if there is, they don't have enough money to pay for their bills.
Because of the poverty, it affects now the education of all people in Malawi, Africa. And because they can't go to school anymore, it affects now a lot of factors.
Because they don't have proper education, people are reckless at doing their action. They exchange trees that could save them from a calamity for a little money. Because of that, many crops are drowned.
Now that the crops were drowned, only a few crops were harvested. So when the drought comes, where no crops can really be harvested, it leads them to famine. Also, because of hunger, people don't have any choice but to use their strength as a man to threaten women and to steal their food.
In the movie, we saw that people don't have the freedom to speak in terms of the anomaly of the government or to speak for their village because people don't have the proper education, people don't know how to vote wisely, and because of that, they were given a president who doesn't know how to handle his own country. Boy Who Harnessed the Wind shows us another type of reality in life. It shows the reflected issues that affect the world today that relate to the contemporary setting of the Philippines. It shows us in the following forms.
The story shows us how the people in politics abuse their power to those who don't have it.
It shows us how poverty affects their lives in Malawi. They cannot have the education they need. They only have limited electricity, they don't have the power supply of water, and they only have limited stock of food.
Story shows about the farmers of Malawi that they are hardworking for their everyday lives, but they are still stuck in a vicious cycle of life wherein they suffer and barely survive each year.
Social medias are widely used all over the world. It is the easiest way to reach for someone, especially now that our technology is so advanced. In just one click, you can reach for your friends or family, even if they are on the other side of the world. To simply put, social media is a huge medium we can use in order to inform and educate everybody towards our goal and what we want to advocate. In order to reach the UN Sustainable Development Goals, we need to inform and educate the whole world because we won't be able to reach our huge goals if we won't work with everybody. And in order to inform and educate everyone, we can communicate through social media. We can use our platforms to share our knowledge and inform them, and we can do things such as webinars and informative posters and many more.
Open eye, feel the waves cut through me, hypnotized by the sounds I'm breathing in. Hold tight, hold tight.